Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I had to show this disclaimer one more time to let y'all know that this is gonna get real serious and get real personal. Welcome. I am your host, Donella Monte Morris. I'm here with once again Miss Anita Joe, aka Teach, and then also another special guest. Y'all remember him from the last interview I had, Beast Johnson. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. Welcome to the show.
Evening.
Thanks for having us on the show.
All right. So we all know this past week, past week, it's been hectic. It's been crazy. I've never seen protests, craziness all over, not even in this country, but all over the world. And I thought I would take it upon myself, even though we jumped into it last week, I think we should jump into it even more this week. And I picked y'all, chose y'all to help me out with this and give y'all insight and give y'all a view. But I'm going to tell you this morning what happened to me today. So when I shared this, when I sent out the trailer to everybody, I sent it out to all the other groups that I follow. One person, I don't know who this person was, he put under the comments and he said, let's talk about more looting or something like that. Let me see if I can find that comment real quick. Let me see. And this one I just woke up first thing in the morning. I just woke up to this. All right, here we go. Here's the comment he left. He said, yes, because looting stores helps everyone. And y'all know when it comes to your craft, you get very protective over it. And I always said on my show that whatever you say or whatever you do, when you put yourself out there on Jump Street, you deserve as much the roses as the rocks being thrown at you. I live by that creed. I live by it. So I messaged him back and I said the following. And you being an asshole, why don't you watch today's show? Watch today besides hiding behind your privilege. I mean your post. Hashtag nice try. So that was my response to him. So this is right there. Yeah. This right here, this message really puts in perspective how out of touch majority of America is. And I want to start off with that fact. So, Teach, I'm going to go ahead and throw the ball to you. What is your opening comments on what you've seen happen these past couple of days?
Well, I'm really, I am George Floyd protesters. I am not George Floyd's looters. And what I'm saying is this. It seems like outside agitators, specifically the Boogaloo Boys, the Proud Boys, and the Antifa group. Mm-hmm. Those three are the ones that have been getting arrested in various cities. I know in my hometown, that's where these names surfaced, that they came in and began to deface property and do the looting. And one thing that I have said, I don't believe that the Black people are starting the looting. Now they will join in, but these outside groups are coming in, taking advantage of the protesting that's going on. And I believe it was on your program that we saw the young lady where in Minnesota, where she said she was there and she felt a whole range of emotions. And then she felt the energy shift. And when the energy shifted, then there's the chainsaws and all type of weapons and so forth and so on. And I even came across two different posts where one, this vehicle filled with Caucasian people, they were going around spotting groups of Black people and attempting to give them bricks so they can begin to use them to destroy property. Okay. I asked the question, why would someone make it their business to supply items that can cause damage? Okay. That to me is definitely undermining the whole purpose of the protest. Then the second thing that I seen, it was highly advertised that they were putting patlets of bricks in certain hot spots in certain cities. So if you come and protest, wow, you have access to something to do damage. Okay. So when I see this as an unnatural instigated occurrence. And it's unfortunate because, and we can take this back to the civil rights movement, where the civil rights movement basically was nonviolent, but it was direct action. Okay. And since the civil rights movement, many groups, the Native Americans, the gay and lesbian groups, and other groups have used the model that became the model for protesting in nonviolence. And they saw that model become successful in terms of creating change in our government and our governmental laws. Out of the civil rights movement, 1964, you had Lyndon B. Johnson sign the Civil Rights Act that basically stated that the United States government would no longer practice discrimination against minorities and religion, creed, and so forth and so on. You can look that up. Okay.
Right.
So basically, on the heels of the civil rights movement, it is seen to be the way to protest in America to get action. Now, what I find is that whenever there was, quote unquote, a nonviolent protest, violence was always present. They were always being attacked. But if you know from my training that they were trained to resist reacting. So these protests, they're spontaneous. In some places, they're highly organized. In other places, they're loosely organized. And so there's a script to follow that if you participate in what you would call a nonviolence protest, okay, it takes one commitment. Because when somebody's beating you over your head, your natural God-given humane response is to strike back. But under the civil rights nonviolent protests, they went through training to steal that emotion, to steal that idea notion that I'm going to fight back, because they had an agenda, and that agenda was to show that I raise not my hand, but you constantly raise yours. It was designed to show who was bringing forth the violence. And this is why the current protesting is failing, because one, they're not practicing the model, and everybody that's in the protest, they're fired up and they're ready. But then secondly, you have the outside agitators that's coming in, that's provoking the violence. And with the looting, I've seen police officers, several shots of police officers looting themselves. They didn't even take the time to take their uniform off to appear as Joe Blow citizen.
Yeah.
They're in uniform, probably was still on duty, and they're taking items to their personal vehicles. So what I see is pandemonium. It is a free-for-all. We are in a state of lawlessness where anybody and everyone that wants to participate, get a new coat, I've heard of situations where people have gotten flatbed trucks and gone to the John Deere and just loaded up tractors on their flatbed trucks. People have stolen cars, high-end vehicles. So you look at what are they looting? Okay, we know the average, appliance store, Target, Walmart, the grocery stores. But when you start looting John Deere tractors and lawnmowers
And then
and
not with the high-end
Lamborghinis
cars, yeah.
and Lexus, okay, you're talking about a whole different level. And I would say that the average quote unquote African American protester is not looting tractors. I would say they're not looting these high end. I've even heard about washing machine and dryers. I mean, they're just taking anything and everything that's available that can be taken.
Not trying to cut you off, Teach. Not trying to cut you off, but we welcome Al to the show. How you doing, Bragg?
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
Fine. How are you? It's good to see you.
So, Bragg, this is Beast Johnson. Beast Johnson, this is Bragg. I actually served with this man, so a lot of respect right there.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but yeah, go ahead, continue, Cheech.
Well, I was just wrapping it up to say that it has spun down into pandemonium. It's a free for all because right now they know that they can get away with whatever they can get away with on a flatbed truck, in the back of their car, or whatever have you. And it's really bad because it has tainted the whole purpose of the protest. But in the end, I do believe with the various mayors and the various governors of different states that they will begin to have the conversation on diversity and how to move their community forward.
Gotcha.
It's unfortunate, but I believe that's the casualty of war. And you remember last week I talked about there are wars and rumor of wars. And this is a rumor of a war because it's not actually declared, but the battle lines have been drawn.
Right.
And these are the casualties.
Right. So, Beast Johnson, what's your take? Your starting arguments.
I agree with her as far as the lawlessness. I won't necessarily say we're at the the pandemonium. I feel we're at the beginning of it. It's the loss of emotional impulse control. Like, because not everyone is committed to the loop, and they're smart enough and have enough to know that the police are out there, and the only way that they can do any looting, if they're out there to truly do looting, is to loot around the areas where protests are being done. Like, for example, in Greensboro, the first night for curfew, they had a non-violent. Of course, the police had to come because their purpose out there was for the loot. And what they were trying to get us to understand is, with you. We're here for you. We're fucked up. Yes. And we agree completely. But due to the nature of it right now, it's for you to be out here. And in the midst of the local news going live and seeing them pretty much the police play red, completely lined up in unity, walking up, slowly forcing them out the city, but not making any acts of like aggression toward them. Just letting them have to leave. As it's going on, somebody, and you can hear it. They looting such and such store, and it just is this lack, like I said, emotional response. Everything is just on wanting to say, I'm mad. I feel some kind of way. I don't really care what happens after the fact. I don't really care if there's a change. I'm just mad. I want people to know I'm mad. Because if enough people are mad, then maybe something will happen. No. That logic is irrational.
Right.
What made the civil movement so successful was everything was steeped in logic. Take your emotions out of this. That was part of the condition. You allowed that they were going to do to you to hit those emotions, because if it hit those emotions, you're going to respond.
Right. Gotcha.
Don't have that teaching and that type of building. That they're trying to mimic what we grew up and learning in the history books of getting out there showing a united front, but they never really took the time to educate themselves on, like she said, the process and the actual or that is needed to successfully do that. They just go off what they see on TV and movies and what little they actually learned in school or was allowed to learn in school. And taking all that, they're trying to do that. They're trying to take that type of feel, but it's all steeped in emotion. There's no true ration behind it.
Gotcha.
And everyone else knows this, so they're taking advantage of it.
Gotcha. So, Bragg, even though you're late to the party, but you're here at the party. So, we basically just doing like opening arguments. So, what is your take on of all the craziness you've seen from the past few days?
Well, my first take is like I said, people are emotional. However, we have to have self-discipline. We cannot allow the narrative to change. We cannot allow anyone to tell us or to change the narrative from George Floyd or Arbery or whoever the case may be. Everybody always wants to say, well, what about Chicago, or what about this, or what about that? You know, we can't worry about that. Right now, the fight is concerning George Floyd. So we have to keep the narrative on that subject and don't allow people on social media, CNN, other podcasts, or whatever the case may be. They always want to try to change the narrative to make it like we are the reason why things are happening to us. So, you know, my intro is going to be just short and sweet, you know, plainly, just self-discipline, keep the narrative on and the focus on where it needs to be. Don't let the others change the narrative.
Yeah. And I just like how everybody had their different approaches to what we're about to get into. So for anybody who's watching, mainly the ones that don't look like me, we encourage you to watch this. Hear from us. We also want to hear from you as well. But majority, hear our story. Not even our story. Hear our struggle. Not even our struggles. We live in this country just like you. It's a difference between saying we understand that racism is going on. But then there's another thing if you actually go out there and do something to invoke that change. Just being my friend is not going to cut it. Actually being there and using your privilege, like with the protests, when you have a lot of people, a whole lot of white people in front, which I've never seen before, in front of all the protesters, in front of the police officers, that's right there. That is actually using your privilege.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And I know a lot of everybody do not agree with where there's no such thing as white privilege. Oh, it is white privilege out there. I mean, let's be real. And my boy, listen, just wrote in. He said, you have to remember. I know y'all can see the comment as well. So,
he's telling. I agree with him, but there's also a country full of multitude of different things and upbringings, and we're the melting pot that America is known for.
Right.
We are the global buffet. You get a little bit of everything here.
Right.
If you can't find it in America, it don't exist nowhere else. I'm pretty much gonna tell you. If it exists somewhere else, eventually it makes it.
Right. So
there is true to it, but we as a people,
Well, I had a
we have to admit, we have to own up to it.
mhm. Go ahead, teach.
We can't. We
okay.
cannot. Go ahead.
I had a curious interaction with a Facebook friend. She texted me this very long text message, which was a copy from her Facebook friend.
Oh
And
boy.
so she wanted to know my take on what her friend intimated to her. And I'll give you the short version. My friend is African American, her friend is Caucasian, and they went to high school together. And I think she said they've been out of school maybe 20 years or so, or maybe 25 years. But anyway, when they were in high school, because she thought the Caucasian lady was her friend, she expressed to her the concern she had as an African American over police brutality killings. And at that time, her Caucasian friend dismissed her because she just couldn't imagine racism and it wasn't real. And she, so she just dismissed it. So now that we're in the throes of all this emotion behind George Floyd's death, her white friend comes back to her and say, hey, some 25 years ago, I couldn't understand you because it was not my reality. And she actually told her that she did not believe her on the issue of racial discrimination and police brutality killings. And so now she's writing this long litany of how, she wants her to forgive her and that she's trying to work and be a better friend. And she wants to know from her, what can she do to help the situation? And her response to me was, she said, I just think she feels guilty. And I said, yeah, it sounds like she feels guilty. And it sounds like you were that one African American friend that did not make her, quote unquote, a racist. And I said, if you, want to suggest anything to her, is that if she really want to make a change, that she herself has to change. And she's now a mother. So she has to make the change within herself, recognize how she got where she came from, her parents. So she should start with her parents, because we're talking about the root cause of racism and the root cause of color blindness. Okay. So, and then, the Caucasian friend told her that she'll just start with her children, just to teach her children how to better interact with the next generation coming up.
Right.
And I said, that is one step, but it's not necessary. I mean, but it's a way off, because it starts with her. What position does she hold in life? Is she a manager? Is she in a position to make power choices over African Americans or not? It starts with her. So I read through it that she was passing the buck. I'm going to teach my kids to be a way that I'm not, or a way that I'm not going to change to. And that children practice what they see in their parents, not so much as what their parents say, but what their parents do. So that just brought it to light how some people who have, Black friends may feel some type of empathy or sympathy, or may feel guilty because their family or people they know actively have negative ideas towards African Americans.
Right. So great points there, Teach. So now we're gonna get into the main course of this. So when we hear different views, everybody, sitting back and listening and all that stuff. With me, the interviewer, always come out when I hear somebody on the opposing side. I always want to put myself in somebody else's shoes or just go on the other side of the track and see why they think that way. But the most saddest thing going through all of this is when I see people that look like myself, that look like you, say the things like, going back to what Bragg was saying, is making this all about the looting and rioting. And it's coming from people that look like us. And it's so disheartening. So the other day, one of my Facebook friends, who happens to be white, posted this video. I only saw just a snippet of it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to save it for the show. And Beast Johnson, I don't know if you're not too familiar. Well, you're not too familiar. This is your first time on the show with other guests. So we do a dissection of a video where we watch it, and if we hear BS or have something to say, we will press pause, and you just speak on it.
Oh, let me go find my cards since we playing bullshit.
So we're about to go ahead and get started. And then also, I want the people that's also watching the show, you can participate too as well. So it's not just the host, it's also y'all. Remember, this show is not just about our views. I'm not going to say opinions, views. So I'm going to put this out here and then I'm going to get onto the video because I'm rambling on just a little bit. On this show, there's no such thing as opinions. These are our statements. Opinions is if this is just me, Teach, Bragg, and Johnson. If it was just us, nobody else, and we're saying how we feel, yes, that's our opinion. But since we're telling this to y'all, and it's being broadcast out there to all of Facebook and also on YouTube, we can't take it back.
No.
I'm gonna tell you, whatever comes from this show, whatever comes from me, I'm standing on it, and I believe I'm talking through everybody here that's on this show. I'm standing on my statement. They're going to stand on theirs. So there's no opinions here. You going to get it. What they said, I keep forgetting that saying, straight no chaser. So you're not going to get it on CNN. You ain't going to get it with Fox
Straight
News.
no chaser.
You ain't going to get it with CNN. You ain't going to get it with Fox News. You definitely ain't going to get it with MSNBC. Trying to come close to Roland Martin. Roland Martin's getting real. So I'm kind of there. But you will get it straight out. But see, this is why we have a forum, so we can better understand the situation. So let's go ahead and get to this video. And to let y'all know, once again, this is our first time seeing this video. So here we go.
Yeah.
On right now, just absolutely crazy. I'm gonna wait for some people to come on Facebook, send out those notifications, because we need to talk, America. We need order in this country. This is just crazy what is going on. I'm still waiting for people to come on. Everybody come on in. Everybody come on in. Everybody come on in. Come on in, everybody. How y'all doing? I really want to know what is going on in this country. Seriously. Seriously. People are tearing down their own cities. And these politicians are allowing it to happen. And these Democratic-ran cities, these Democratic politicians are allowing people to burn down cities. How does that make any sense? And let me tell y'all something here, okay? George Floyd did not deserve to die. He didn't deserve to die. He didn't. And I believe those officers should be locked up, okay? But this is what I don't understand.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my first stop, y'all. I'm gonna do my first stop. Doing my first stop.
Like, okay, go. Look, I wanted to stop him a lot earlier, but it was just to pick on him. I was waiting for him to say something. So I'm glad you stopped.
So my first stop is this. I don't expect people that look like me to have the same political views that I do. But one thing that kills me, I don't think he's a well, I'm gonna go ahead and give him the conservative viewpoint. I just love when they start with the argument, they always say democratically run and it's down to the ground. But let's be politically correct. I mean, literally politically correct. There were Democrats that taken over from these Republicans, if we want to be clear. One. And number two, what do a political party got to do with anyway? Democratically run. Did he even see what's her name? The one mayor in Atlanta, as she got on everybody to say, take your ass home?
Yeah.
I
Mayor
guess,
Bottoms.
I guess he didn't see that.
That was my grandma.
Yeah. Or or did he saw what the Minnesota governor said? I'm not governor, Minnesota mayor of that town said. I mean, it's funny how black conservatives just jump on the band train of like, oh, it's Democrats. But let's be clear. There was a president by the name of Nixon who signed in the bill on the war on drugs. And then there was another president that y'all hail as the greatest president ever lived. I don't know what nightmare you came waking up saying that. Ronald Reagan, who reinstitutionalized that, and then also on and so forth. That's why the community are as they are. Yeah, go ahead.
First off, not to sound racist or self-hating, but I have an issue. I'll be very plain with this.
Hey,
We can't hear you.
You might down. There you go. There you go. Oh. Say something. We still can't hear you. Sorry, ladies, I'm going through some technical difficulties right now. Anybody want to have anything at while he's working it out?
Well, he talking about Democrat, ran cities. That talking just sounds so much like 45.
Can you hear me now?
45 is pushing his point that in trying to score votes, that is all Democrat ran cities and states.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why that's all I hear when he says that, he's the talking point from 45.
Yeah.
I hear something deeper. The point I was gonna make earlier was he reminds me of those people that always say, well, Lincoln was a Republican and he freed the slaves. First and foremost, that was a political ploy. It was a bluff. They got called, and Lincoln was real enough of a man to he called my bluff. What you gonna do? I'm gonna free them slaves. I ain't gonna look like a fool. You call my bluff, so I'm gonna do it.
Maneuver.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was. So for y'all to praise him, and black people that are Republicans off of that mentality is like that random cousin of that ex-girlfriend or ex you had in high school that's like they want to be cool with you. It's like every time they see you, they want to speak like, I don't want to know you. But you used to mess with such and such back in 10th grade. Nigga, I don't even talk to them no more.
Right.
When the last time you talked to them? Oh man, we don't even speak no more. Then why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Like that's the feeling I get when I hear him talking like that. It's a bewildering form of ignorance.
Right. Well,
I just want to say to what he has said so far is that he doesn't understand that we are in a war, and he is siding with property. He has love for property and can't understand why people are destroying property. But if you understand the simple concept of war and the casualties of war, you would never make those statements.
yeah.
No.
I think we in the people like him, they're just comfortable with saying things, they just, it's easy for them to say things like that, basically in a form of comfort. So let's go ahead and continue because this ride's gonna get a little bit rocky, a little more rocky.
I might have to pull another
Why
shot for
are
this
people rioting? Why are people burning down the city when most of the country believes that George Floyd did not deserve to die? President Trump instructed the FBI to investigate. So why are people burning down the city?
Oh, here we go. He called it. Here we go.
I'm caught. This is coonery. I'm just calling it what it is. This is flat out good old roots coonery. That is the most ignorant statement. Someone unjustly died for the umpteenth time publicly with multiple vantage points and video recording, and you actually formulated, or as I like to say, you really fixed your face to say those words with passion and conviction. I can hear the vigor, like he really believes what he's saying right now.
Yeah, he does. Trust me, he probably does.
And as angry as I want to be, I'm just overwhelmed with sadness hearing this from him. Because once again, not to be racist, but can't no nigga with a nose that big and a forehead that big have the right to say something that stupid. Because let's keep it real. When the shit jump off and they really start going for colors, you're going to be one of the first one shot like, oh no, why? Look in the mirror.
Now, I'm going to say something. When I hear a black man speak as he's speaking, I haven't heard his whole speech, but the first thing comes to my mind, he sleeps white.
Ooh, I like that term. Sleeps white. I like that.
I'm gonna tell you.
He sleeps white.
Hey, that's more where that came from. You think teachers only getting started? I'm just letting y'all know. Anything you want to add?
Like that. You might need to copyright that one right there.
Sounds like the other person we heard the videos from, Officer Tatum. But go ahead and play the video.
Gotcha.
George Floyd's the officers that killed him or whatever that are being charged for his murder, they have been arrested. So why are people burning down a city? This is what I don't understand. They are burning down stuff as if nothing is being done. Something is being done. So why are you burning?
I'm calling it. The boy just said he had 5 aces. He just said he had 5 aces. I got to call it. Just looking at him, I'm gauging late 20s to early 30s. So I'll give him at best 33. I'm 36. To get real plain and southern, how many niggas you done seen on TV die for no damn reason? How many white cops you done seen get arrested, go to trial, either get convicted, and we have to put quotations, convicted, or acquitted, and then you wonder why people just finally said, fuck it? And we have a generation now that is desensitized by violence. They don't really have an understanding of their past. They're just more concerned with their future. But they got that same energy that came from their ancestors. Look, we're not standing up for this shit. The new generation is like, look, I'm not my mama. I'm not my granddaddy. I will fucking punch you in the face.
Right.
When did this video come out?
I believe this post was actually from yesterday. I would say probably during the first days of the riots. I would give it that.
Okay, because his everybody wasn't arrested initially. It was like the other 3 officers was just arrested. I believe today. Or the charges came out today, so you know, I don't know where he's getting his information from, but people was angry for a long time because nothing was. I am not saying they wasn't investigating, but there definitely wasn't no arrest made initially.
No.
Until the riots started to happen. I won't say the riots, until the protests started to happen. And that's the one thing. See, it goes back to what T's been preaching on this show ever since I have her on. It's the knee-jerk reaction. And this right here is the perfect and prime example, a knee-jerk reaction to where he just going off like, oh my gosh, you burning up a Target. And I didn't want to get too deep until we got a little bit more into the show, but I'm gonna have to I gotta let a little bit out now. I came to the realization when everybody says that all these small businesses and these businesses, mainly small businesses, are getting vandalized and all that stuff. Look, I'm sorry to sound like a capitalist. There's a thing called insurance.
Target FICA.
Right. Target's going to be okay. Walmart's going to be okay. McDonald's, if I ain't heard McDonald's got vandalized, but I'm saying all these places that got vandalized that are chains or got millions of dollars or make billions of dollars every year are going to be okay. These small businesses, y'all going to be okay. You're not going to go into business without putting in an insurance claim. I'm sorry, I may sound cruel, but I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, you put in insurance when anything happens, unless you got garbage ass insurance, that's on you. It is wrong it is wrong that you have this happen to you. It is wrong that people came and vandalized and destroy everything. Yes, it's going to hurt a little bit. I won't say a little bit. It's going to hurt a lot. But remember, oh snap, I put in insurance. Now I could probably get that spot that I always wanted, or now I got the money to rebuild and start all over again. But then you should know the risks that you're going to have to get into when you have things like this happen. You got natural disasters. You got, like here, you got protests. You got people that will go in and try to break in anyway. What makes you think what makes you think like months of being in business, none of it happened, that you think it would never happen to you? You have to put that in the back of your mind. You have to. And I'm like I said, I can feel a little sorry for them having this happen to you, but you're in business. You have the insurance claim. Just put it in. But yeah, what you about to add on to, Teach?
I was going to say two things. One, if I could read his mind, it's like, you black people are making me, the other black person, look bad. Right. That's what he's coming to. That's what I feel like he's coming to, not watching.
I get the same vibe.
Video. But the second thing that I wanted to say about the businesses is this. If their business got caught up in the riots for looting and it was destroyed, we don't know what kind of business owner that person was. Whether he was part of the problem or not part of the problem. But either way, if that person had a conscience, knowing, not taking it personally, but taking the lesson of his business being burned down, once he got that insurance money, he could make a change. Say, well, you know what? I'm going to be more friendly to blacks. I'm actually going to hire a few blacks. See, so even though it's a negative or what's perceived as a negative thing, can have a very positive outlook, because like I'm saying, it's a casualty of war, and after war, you have to rebuild. When you begin to rebuild, you take on a frame of mind of how you want to go forward. So it's a necessary evil. It's a necessary evil for everybody in that community, because it was not just the police officers. They were highlighted because they're taking lives. But what about that shop that called you names when you went in to purchase something? What about the one that denied you service? Yeah. So then we don't know the backstory on each one of these individual small businesses, and even the major chains. What were their employees like? Were they friendly to the African American community, or did they put security guards to watch them from the time they walked in the store to the time they walked out? So by these businesses getting hit, it's going to cause them to think going forward. Either they say, I'm not going to rebuild in that area, and I'm going to, stay the way that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I come back into this area, I'm going to have a more diverse policy.
Right.
I'm myself going to be more friendly to my community because this community is feeding me. So I'm going to be a positive part of this change.
Right.
So it's a different way to look at it.
Right. So also, which lead me to this too. What did these businesses, how did they contribute to the community? That's another thing that should go through your mind too. What did they put on there other than a place to go and a job? People don't want to talk
I feel like that corresponds with what she what T said. I feel like that your point is parallels exactly with what she says.
Right. It's
You
like
know, it's more of a local part, more of a local mentality on it.
mm-hmm. I mean,
You know how those individual owners and employees.
It's like what have you done? Right. What have you done? What have you done?
I saw a black business owner who was on there. I guess he had a distillery. I forget if he was in Minneapolis or whatnot, but he had a distillery, and he was like, most people, they tore up my place, and I guess they didn't realize that I was black. Well, along with what you all are saying, it don't matter if you're black or white. As a business owner, if you are silent about the issues that's going on in the community, then you are damn near complicit. You have to be able to speak out on the issues, whether you are black, white, yellow, or green. And if your community know that you are speaking out and that you are active, doing the right thing for your community, they'll know, hey, let's not hit that place, or no, such and such is a good business owner. He helps us. He speaks out. They're not gonna hit you.
Right.
But so it don't matter who are the business owners. It's all about what are you doing for your community.
Yeah. What have you done for me lately? Because I've been seeing all these. Remember the LA riots after the Rodney King verdict? Everybody been posting up that video of that brother coming out there saying, "You destroyed my business. I'm black. I got a black-owned business, and you destroyed it." And I'm like, why are you using that as an example? Why are y'all using that? Because the man is black, and it goes back to what Bragg was saying, and goes back to what Cheech was saying, the point that I was alluding to. What have you done, sir? Because you could have been the most rudest person. You could have just only, let's say, let rich people come up in there and eat, while that one little kid probably will have walked on up in there after he finished playing. You tell him, "Oh, get your little narrow tail on out here and all that." So get on out. Get.
They done got comfortable. They're comfortable in their riches, so they don't want to speak out because they're comfortable. I'm good now. I done made it. Forget whoever ain't ready. So they not gonna speak out and say nothing.
Right.
Now, what y'all was speaking on, y'all reminded me of it's true, so true. Because
when karma comes around, it's gonna pay you.
Like that.
Yeah.
But you don't know how it's gonna pay you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, B. Johnson.
I'm saying, no, fine. Everything that y'all was saying reminded me of a moment that I personally had dealing with racism, and it was with another Asian, Korean owner of a little shop by the bus or whatever, but he don't really take to blacks. But one day I came in and I asked him, hey, are you Korean? And he's like, how'd you figure? Well, I explained, I'm big into Asian culture, Japanese or whatever, so I know you're not Japanese, and I know all Asians are offended by that, so I'm not gonna say that. But I was listening to the music in the background. I could tell it was Mandarin. I could tell by looking at you, you're most likely not Chinese, but maybe Korean. So I took a guess. By me conversing with him and just like talking to him after that, his whole demeanor towards all blacks that enter this store completely changed. Before that, he was the ones you speak about, very abrasive, get in, get out, not up for conversation. But after me pretty much letting him know that, hey, you'd be surprised who know about your culture and who really know the difference. Yep. So don't assume. He was more willing and more involved with things, and and when the riots happened, that area was completely left alone.
Right.
Like, nobody even bothered going over to that area where his store was located.
And see, just doing little simple things like that can go a long way. So let's go back to this this guy, Fivehead. I mean, this guy.
And stuff down. And then these same fools claim that Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives Matter, why in the hell are you burning down your own community? This is what I don't understand, y'all. Why would you ruin the lives of other Black people because George Floyd died?
I'm sorry. I gotta use my stop. I gotta use my stop right here. He went into what I had going on my heart
Please.
this whole week. So let me go ahead and get into it. When I hear that, that's another cop out. It's our community. It's why are you destroying your community? And I said this on past shows. What makes it our community? What? Because there's a lot of Black people that lives there?
No. I'll tell you exactly what to make it is. The 40 acres and the mule that we were promised after slavery, those 40 acres are actually the dimensions of most project government housing developments. The actual span of most projects is 40 acres, where primarily Blacks live. So they gave us 40 acres. It's the project ass communities that we're forced to live in.
Yeah, and I just get all messed up when they say your community. I said, what makes our community?
Exactly,
and
that definitely don't make it
right. And so this is why I say we don't have the political power, we don't have the freaking like money sources, we don't have the businesses up in that community to even say, hey, we're stopping gentrification, or go into another community and being like, hey, we're gonna buy this up. So for people to say ours, when I say something is mine, it just doesn't mean that's in my possession that is mine. No, it's I bought it, it's paid for. I don't have to answer nobody but to me on what I want to do with it.
Exactly.
And when I hear that, when they're like, why are you destroying your own communities? You hear from pundits on CNN all the time, on Fox News all the time, including this guy right here. So for anybody who's watching, just because you see a group of Black people living in this number of Black people in this one community, does not make it our community. We happen to live there, which once again goes back to what Teach's been teaching me. See, Teach, I remember all the things you taught me. It's us not living, but survival.
Exactly.
Every day, even with me being in the military, I know the deal. It's all about us surviving, because that it could be that one day, it could be it. Could be life or death. And just because you see a whole group of Black people living in this community does not make it our community. I'm like this. You know why it's not our community? Because if it was our community, none of our people would be dying on our streets. The cops would not be harassing us. First of all, we would have our own police department. Remember Black Wall Street? And then we would have politicians. We will have our own politicians that will only look out for the interests of that community and for the benefit of that community. Homegrown politicians actually from the neighborhood and will defend it, or even rent politicians. Look, I just gave out a secret to y'all. But that's the issue. It just sickens me when each and every time I hear, oh, it's our community. But I don't have a say-so in what I want to do. I don't have a say-so.
My community.
Yeah, I mean, like, how can I have a say-so if let's say if I wanted to start build my own business building over here, but I had to go through all this paperwork and all this stuff. That's not my community. I should have the right to go over there anytime I want to, because I put as much in this community as everyone else with my businesses and with my money and all that stuff. So he lost me with that one. But anybody else got anything to add before we continue on with this craziness?
saying it's my community, it's our community, is like being a kid in your mama house telling your mama, get out my room.
Yes.
You can't do so much. You can't do so much as put a post up in there without risking at least a verbal lashing, if not a physical one.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
better be some scotch tape that easily remove off.
Right. Anybody else got anything to add?
No.
All right, let's go ahead.
Let's continue with the foolery.
Gotcha.
Don't make any
I'm
sense
intrigued
at
now.
all. Why would you burn down black businesses and then say Black Lives Matter when you just took a black person out of a job? Burning down Target doesn't have anything to do with the death of George Floyd. Target did not kill George Floyd, okay? Target did not shoot George Floyd. Target did not choke George Floyd.
This message was
Walmart.
endorsed by Target.
Why did you burn down Walmart? Why did you burn down Walmart? Why would you burn down McDonald's? A burger did not kill George Floyd. This is what I don't understand.
Shake machine
Stealing
don't never
TVs
work.
has nothing to do with the death of George Floyd. Because people who really want change, they be the change. People who want change, they don't break into Target and steal TVs, flat screen TVs, 4K TVs. People who really want change, they don't run in Walmart and steal clothes and burn it down. These people don't want change. These people want a bunch of free shit.
Hold up. Who's these people?
Thank you. Hey, see, you called it too. You called it too. We there.
Yeah. So Cheech, who are these people?
It sounds very racist
like
too.
I said in the beginning of the show, these people are the Boogaloo Boys, the Proud Boys, and the Antifa groups. These are the outside agitators that started all of this looting. That started
These are the Minnesota
rioting.
That started the Target looting.
Okay, so looting versus protesting. It is these outside agitators that started the looting, that have their own agenda, that want to bring us to a race war, that wants to bring us to a civil war. They all have their own individual agendas, and these people are serious. So they're going to ride and immerse themselves in the midst of our pain to create a camouflage that Black people are just burning down their own businesses. Because what I've heard is that they marked all the Black businesses, or many of the Black businesses, and they're still standing. Then I heard, or I seen where it was one of these Boogaloo Boys, one of these offshoot groups that came in and started burning down the Black businesses. Okay, so he needs to watch a few more videos and listen to a few more things. He just sleeps white, and he feels that he's Black, he's blacker, or he's Black white, and you all are Black. And so you black people are making me Black white person look bad. It's all about him. He doesn't understand the casualties of war. He doesn't understand the catalyst that bring about a change. These things bring about a change.
Anything to add, Bragg?
No, she hit the nail on the head with that one. So we can roll on.
I was still trying to figure out these people. Me and B. Charles had that same mind frame, like, yo, what do you mean by these people? And then saying free shit. I mean, okay, all right. I mean, Target's going to be okay,
This
but
boy is transracial.
Yeah,
that's what this boy is.
Like it wasn't just Black people.
He don't see Black clear. He don't see Black when he look in the mirror. Like if you want to give him a term, he's Uncle Ruckus. When he look in the mirror, he see a 42-year-old white man with fading dirty blonde hair named Jonathan. Got a FICO score of 805.
I believe the more he talk, I believe he has a white boyfriend.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's keep it
You know
going.
what? I'll take a shot.
And that's
I'm gonna
why
take a shot for them right there, too.
they stealing. And that's why they are burning up stuff. These people want chaos and they want free stuff. It just don't make sense at all. They acting like nobody cared about George Floyd. Everybody, I have not met one person. I have not met one person who sided with those police officers. I have not met one white person.
Pause.
I have not.
Yeah, you saw a twitching this on my head, right? I'm gonna let you go ahead on that, Johnson. My head was twitching.
No. Right, look. Most of what he said is just like complete buffoonery. It is to dissect his words. I feel like is an activity in counterproductiveness. Like, just enjoy the show. Like listen to him talk is like watching a cult classic that you know it's a trashy B movie. You know this movie ain't shit, and that's the beauty of it. You go in knowing you're gonna hear some mess. And that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm enjoying it right now because right now what I'm seeing is the gay boy in church that's trying to defend the fact that he's straight, even though he refused to bring a girlfriend to church.
I am delivered.
I done told y'all that was just a moment in college. I was drunk at a frat house. But God has delivered me. Like, we know you lying.
He's mad because he didn't get one of those TV
deals. Yeah.
I mean, I'm mad too. Shoot. I heard they were stealing 70 inches, and they said the crackhead had them for $30. I'm mad I ain't run across that crackhead. But you don't hear me on Facebook Live whining and talking about you ignorant niggas out here. Y'all just want to loot for no reason. I'm mad.
I'm mad that he's so narrow-minded.
Yeah.
You know, we know that it wasn't just black people out here looting. You know, there's plenty of video and live streaming of all races out there. So for him to, point the finger at his own people is just crazy.
Yeah, because I would get ready to say, I feel like he was not looking at any of the videos. He was not looking at any, even CNN was showing these movies.
Right.
This is the point he refuses to realize that as a whole, 100%, 97% of us as black people, no matter your degree from 100% to 1%, you know in your heart, if you got any true Negro features on you, that certain activities in certain environments during certain times may well get you shot. So why would you put yourself out there? You had more white people doing it, and black people that did it after they seen at least 5 or 6 white people go in and out the store with some shit. Then they was like, well, shoot, I'm about to get me some. There you go, exactly.
They went in on CP time.
Exactly. Like the line just said right there, 2 white girls started looting jewelry in Madison. What you think a black person gonna do? If I see two little blonde hair or petite little white girls run in there and steal at least $7,000 worth of jewelry, shoot, I'm about to run in and get at least 4 real quick.
Well, they got all the good stuff. Only thing left for you is the cubic zirconia. Because if you go back and look at that Target video, the store was cleaned out by the time the black folks got there.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They were saying they was there recording. They say when they were up in there, they recorded like, yo, look at all the stuff. And by the time they walked in, they recorded. That's when the police officers started to arrest them. They're like, yo, no, we just recorded.
Nigga, we just got here.
we and they're the ones that get arrested, which is crazy to me. So this also proves that not only he's narrow-minded, he's misguided. He obviously don't watch the news. Yeah, even freaking Fox News is even showing this stuff. If you watch Fox News, I mean, they even showing the news. Yeah, they even showing this stuff, even if they don't want to have it. And I mean, they have
no other choice. They ain't got no other footage of more than 3 niggas looting.
Right. And it's just crazy to me that this dude is misinformed. But going back to that one person, let's say this one person is oblivious, saying that, hey, I support what's going on, I support this rioting and all that stuff, that has no education on why there's rioting, why there's looting. Well, listen to him and make them second guess themselves. Like, maybe he is right. And then on the other hand, the people that agree with the police, fully agree with the police, would be like, hey, see, you're not like, I won't say it like this. Let me say it in a way that's not offending. Say it like, you know what, you make sense. You the only one that would say something like that. You would say the same thing was coming out of my head, but I wasn't expecting you to say something like that. Those are the type of people that will watch this and they will be like, you know what, he got a point. He knows what he's saying. For the one that's miseducated on what's going on, to the ones that's saying that you said it and you making me feel comfortable. You the man, brother. You the man. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Now I'm gonna have to pull a card on that one just for the simple fact that from a strategic political standpoint, you got more videos, especially during the protests, of actual, not just like random officers, but high-ranking officials out there in the middle of the streets, like telling these folks straight up, we here with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
on that point,
nobody here is going to draw a weapon on you. Nobody here is to do anything violent to you. We're here in support of you. We're here to make sure nothing don't jump off with y'all. And if y'all gonna be here, then we good. As long as y'all don't do no looting, y'all good. That's basically what the cops are telling them. But we in support of y'all. What happened? Like I said earlier, what happened was fucked up. Yeah. That you have cops on camera publicly stating that. So, and those videos are more trending than any other video or any other misinformation that would be out there. So for those who are misinformed, there's no way that you didn't randomly come across this video on any one of your timelines.
Right. And then also you got soldiers out there, the National Guard, they actually put down their shields and they kneeled with the protesters and they marched with the protesters. So with us saying these things, we also going to state the obvious too as well. Seeing these chiefs, I was shocked to see the chief and the sheriffs out there sitting there saying, like, we know what they're doing is wrong. We're here to do a job. We're here to protect you as the protesters, as they should. You know, what's it? Not only just freedom of speech, you got the right to protest, and the officers, that's their duty
right to assembly.
Right, and they have, and the officers, their duty to protect those protesters. It's their job and it's their duty, as well as the National Guard. The National Guard is not there just to freaking just beat up somebody just because they're not doing something wrong or put bullets up their ass. No, they are there to keep the peace. And if protecting the protests is the way of keeping the peace, that's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to. And so it shouldn't really have to go through. Yeah, it should not have to go over any lines on anything like that. So let's get back to more of this before, because this guy is just,
Let's fix. I like this pose right here. Just go there and finish. Just.
I met one black person that's not those officers, okay? But one thing that people need to know is that not every officer is a bad guy, okay? You have good cops and you have bad cops. People, listen to me, okay? You have good cops and you have bad cops. The same way you have good people and bad people.
Got you.
One cop.
Pause, please. This boy is a walking soundbite.
Right. He has no original thought.
Thank you.
None.
Thank you.
No original thought.
Thank you. For those that did not figure out quickly what I said, thank you, Teach. Ain't nothing this boy said I have not heard or seen on some special episode of a sitcom.
Hey, I'm gonna bring Bragg. I'm gonna bring Bragg up into it. It's no different than the Fox News contributors that be up on there, right? Like, oh my God, all lives matter.
Yeah,
All
that's
this
pretty much it.
passion,
Yeah.
all
Right.
this passion and conviction, and no substance whatsoever.
None.
None.
I mean, I think
None. He could be reading from a teleprompter. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just
Look,
he has all
look,
this
that boy
passion and
could be he could be
conviction.
a powerful he could be a powerful preacher. He could be one
If he could
powerful,
think, if I only had a brain, if I only had a brain.
yeah.
but tell y'all the truth. Yeah, go ahead, Teach.
But let's roll the tape because we stop on every sentence and we'll never get
Yeah.
through
Because
this.
the boy keeps saying
Yeah.
stupid stuff. It's not our fault. He just keeps saying stuff. It's like, quit telling everybody you got 5 of everything. It's not even it's possible.
Right. And
Every man,
Bragg's,
I got 5 diamonds.
I like Bragg's reaction because he's just looking like, oh my gosh, like is it this? It's gonna get a little bit better, just a little bit. Ugh. But yeah, I'm just gonna spoil alert. It's not gonna get no better. And this is our first time watching this.
So you still got hope for that
And
boy.
he got
Make
I lost
6
that
million
shit,
clout
bro.
on
to put
viewers.
his knee on the neck of that man.
Mm.
There is no sense to attack other officers who had nothing to do with the death of George Floyd, okay? It just don't make sense. Why would you want to harm and hurt an officer who had nothing to do with George Floyd's death? Just because one officer did it does not mean every officer should suffer for the actions of an individual officer. So let me break it down to you, okay? Because some people don't really understand, okay? If a black person kills somebody, you don't go out and protest against every black person because that one black person killed somebody. So you don't go out and try to harm every black person in America. You don't do that because I should not be held accountable for someone else's actions. So by y'all burning down the police stations, it's just ridiculous. And this is what I don't understand here. Are we really living in a country?
Before he get to that point, another soundbite, and I'm gonna have to take the rest of this shot for this. But there's a difference between random acts of violence, the random loss of life, and then the random loss of life unjustly. There have been not as many, unfortunately, but there have been many notable white or non-black unjust deaths throughout the annals of history, throughout the last 30 years, that have made public and global attention. And within that time, there have been just as many black on black, white on white, Pakistan on Pakistan, insert your race versus that race. So it's not even worth calling you redundant to make that statement. It's just pure ignorance. It's not even blissful ignorance. That's not even a worthy cop-out.
Is you know how like people just go on a ramble because they think they sound good. They just love to hear what they hear themselves talk.
Mm-hmm.
This is your example right here, ladies and gentlemen. That one person where you trying to have like if you're having a debate and you try to get your point across, but he got to keep going, or he or she got to keep going and going and going because they think they sound so good. And he just getting amped up. And I guarantee you all the comments that he was getting during this live stream where people like, say it, hey, no, you speaking nothing but the truth. I wish it was more of you. I wish it was more people like you that be talking like that. And
I guarantee you his comments was disabled.
No, he get amped up on them comments, just like you'll hear people who talk like him say, well, he's a good black man because he's agreeing with their narrative.
That's a husband comment right there. I like that. Hey, shoot, I thank the rioters. Shoot, my wife made me sell my guns. Now she want one. Thank you, rioters.
I mean, it's just crazy. You know, you got that one friend, that one cousin, even sometimes that one damn uncle, the black sheep of the family, just go on the ramble, and then people just amp them up because they know more crazy stuff. More crazy stuff.
In my family, they drunk and they wonderful to be around. They say ignorant stuff, but nothing to that level.
Yeah, I mean, I guess everybody trying to get their what's that, buttermilk biscuits and all that stuff. But yeah, let's continue being entertained because I know everybody's just sitting back.
Where people can get away with burning down a police station, these ghetto thugs burned down a police station, and nobody went to jail. Nobody went to jail. What world are we living in where you can burn down a police station? Where you
quick note for anyone watching, and I'm gonna go back and find this. I want you to send this to my messenger because I'm gonna play a drinking game with my friends where you gotta take a shot every time this nigga say a sound bite. If he say some shit that sound like was on CNN or Fox News, you gotta take a shot. I promise you be drunk before a minute.
Well, everybody used that stop. Only one person have not used that stop. Well, actually, she haven't used one, and Brad hasn't used one yet. So, but yeah, this is
that's because B stopped
at this point.
Yeah,
he says stupid
at this
stuff,
point,
man.
I'm waiting for him to say something. He hasn't said anything. I'm waiting for him to say something.
It's just a continuous stuff. Yeah, it's just a continuous rambling. I mean, he just loved to hear himself talk. I mean, I guess. I mean, you got 6.8 million views. I mean, but then again,
they thinking what I'm thinking. This boy talking stupid. That's what they thinking. That's why he got 6 million. He got 6 million views of people like me. Like, this boy is stupid. Yeah, man, come here. Listen to this boy over here.
Let's go ahead and continue.
You can threaten the lives of innocent officers. Don't forget, people, police officers are human too, okay? They are human. They have families. They have children. So don't try to harm an innocent officer because one officer made a mistake. It's sad that I even have to explain this foolishness right now. It's sad that we even have to talk about this. They are burning down the city of Atlanta right now, people. Atlanta, we all know Atlanta, Georgia is full of black people. They have 50% of the businesses in Atlanta are owned by black people. So why are black people burning down those businesses? That is not Black Lives Matter. And I want people to understand what it means when you burn down Target and Walmart. Those black people that live in the community work at Target, you stupid ass people. Excuse my language. I hope y'all don't have any kids watching this video. Those people working at Target and Walmart, the people that work there live in your community. Those black people work there, and you took their job away when you burned it down. Now there's a black mother out there that don't have any money to feed her child now because you dummies burned her job down.
Stop. I'm gonna have to use. I think I used 3. So
I don't care.
So he's basically saying he's basically saying that, whoa, it's Target. You killed my job. Oh, it's Walmart. You just took away their job. Have y'all, maybe it's just me, but do Walmart has a real bad track record when it comes to paying their employees and also pension and health benefits. Please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're wrong. You're not wrong. And to my knowledge, last I checked, because I'm essential, I have 2 jobs, and both my jobs require me to still work through this pandemic. But last time I checked, people that were drawing unemployment were drawing upwards of $1,200 a week for upwards of 2 months straight, which is honestly way more than what I'm bringing home, busting my ass every day at work. So if you burn down my job and forced me to go on unemployment, which is paying upwards, right? Base government giving you 600 on top of whatever your job would actually pay you. I'm mad? No.
Yeah. I knew I was.
What he's doing is what I said in the initial part is just he's changing the narrative. He's putting the focus on everything except for what's really at heart. When we look at the grassroots of what's happening here in America, he has totally missed all of those points. We know all cops are not bad. I don't think there's nobody out here saying that. But when you have 3 other officers looking on and not doing anything to stop that behavior, and not only in that case, but numerous other cases, there's a plethora of cases where other cops have watched on while the other ones have done something bad because of the blue code or whatever, the boys in blue code, whatever they have. Again, not all cops are bad, but that's what we see when our lives are being destroyed on the streets. Our black men, our black women at this point, everybody's losing their life. And it just, you can't really explain why these other cops are sitting there watching it happen. So, he just really ticks me off when he says that. He's just a talking point. Like I said, he's just random talking points.
Yeah.
If I could respond to Briggs, to sum it up, Black people know this. Not all cops are bad, but all cops are complicit.
I agree with that.
So because they're all complicit, it's hard. You go back to that interview with Ali when they try to hit him with the 100 snakes metaphor.
Exactly.
If 100 snakes are going through your door, but only 2 of them are actually poisonous, what do? And his response is, I'm gonna kill them all.
Yep.
Because what's the actual probability? Let's get mathematical. What's the probability that the first 2 snakes that I see are actually the poisonous ones and I kill them and everything after that is completely good? I don't know that. There's no way for me to truly know and look down at these snakes and say, that one's poisonous, that one's good. I'm going to kill them all. That's the same mentality.
Yeah. But yeah, this guy's he's all over the place. If you will really, he's that type of guy that if you probably meet him in person and you check him on something like this, he probably might run to his car. He'd be like,
he would find some reason to leave. He will blow up in your face or find some reason to physically leave the scene. If you try to check him on the intellectual mode, yeah, I see that myself.
So let's go ahead and continue with the randomness.
Now there's a Black father out there that cannot pay rent on the 1st because you dumbass people, you dirty low-down thugs, burned down his job. And then you want to scream Black Lives Matter. You don't give a damn about Black people's lives. All you care about is yourself. I have never in my life met a person that claimed they cared about somebody and at the same time they burned everything they have. If you really care about somebody, why would you burn up their car? If you really care about somebody, why would you burn up their house? If you really care about somebody, why would you burn down their job? Why would you burn up a children's school? Why would you burn down a library? So now you don't want the young black children to have an education, so you burn down the black schools? That don't make no sense. And you want to say Black Lives Matter. You don't give a damn about nobody's life but yours. These people are downright selfish. They don't care about nobody. They don't care about white people. They don't care about black people. They don't care about Hispanics. They don't care about nobody. So miss me with their bull crap that they are doing it for George Floyd. These people are using George Floyd's name in his death as an excuse to act a plumb fool. People are using George Floyd's name in his death to steal and to burn down buildings. And these police officers need to lock these people up. They need to go to jail. They need to go to jail. They need to round all these thugs up and throw them in a state penitentiary. And I don't give a damn if I got to pay more taxes because we got more people in prison. These people need to go to prison. And I'm willing to pay more taxes just so they can be locked up where they belong, in a cell. That's where animals belong. These people are animals. That's how animals act. You know what? Animals don't.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You felt it too. You felt it too. I wanted to let him finish, but go ahead, please.
Like, why is he trying to talk bad? You know, obviously he's picking the black audience to try to preach to, you know, but you know, he hasn't pointed out one thing about white people or anybody else. You know, he's saying you want to say Black Lives Matter. You obviously are trying to preach to the black community, but like we said, it's not a black community thing. Last time I saw, we are in America, you know, where we are all here together. So you should be preaching or trying to say something to everybody, because again, we've made the same attitude that, or same point that it ain't just black people that's out there. Matter of fact, it's probably more white people doing the bad things. Just like here in Tennessee, you had a white boy that got arrested for burning. He was the one who started the fire at the courthouse. So who made him the guy to try to talk down to everybody? You know, to talk down to black people, I should say.
Right. I'm trying to figure out, when was the school burned down?
When was the library burned down? I didn't hear nothing about that neither myself.
Not me either. I'm trying to figure out. Teach you heard anything about school getting burned down or anything like that? Because your face,
not really, but I've heard different communities have been totally burned down, so it would include some of those items, but specifically which city, which locale, that I cannot say. But what I want to say to him is that he has no original thought. There's nothing that he's just repeating what he has heard, and he's stirred. And basically his whole message is, you other black people is making me, this black person, look bad in front of my white friends. That's what I keep hearing from him in his message. He has no race loyalty at all. And he just, as they say, a sellout, as B said, a coon. He's not even trying to empathize that George Floyd is the face of this protest, but this face encompasses Tamir Rice, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor,
Freddie Gay,
Sandra
Eric
Bland,
Garner.
Eric Gardner. He's the face of all of these people in the past. And this
Well,
is
we can
built
take it.
up.
We can take it further back. We can
And
take it
that's
further
why
back.
I mean, it goes on and on and on. But that's why,
Exactly.
I mean, if he has cable or have a chance to look at international news, people are rallying behind this protest in Paris. And I question Paris because Paris has its own racial issues with Black people. People in Iran, people in Syria, places that's war torn right now. They don't even have any buildings standing. They decide to take an old, I think it was an underpass, part of an underpass, and they made a memorial to George Floyd because these people understand what it means to be oppressed. We're talking about oppression and how people are at their boiling point. And like I put in a post the other day on Facebook, one of my African friends were saying, "Oh, you Black people need to calm down and you don't need to burn down the buildings. We need to have peace." And I say this: if you want peace, don't break the peace. If you want peace, do not break the peace, because once you break the peace is broken. It's not for me not to have peace, but you broke my peace. It was your action that caused this negative energy. And I said, since the African have been on this soil, we have never known peace. You cannot name one day, one decade, one century that African Americans have had peace in America. So to tell me to have peace now is a great misnomer, because we've never had peace. We live in constant fear. We live in constant fear. As a mother, with my son and my daughter, with them coming up, I had to tell them what type of behavior to have to avoid any skirmishes with the police. Stay low.
I think every Black child had that conversation.
Yeah. So we have not known peace. We have not been free in this society, even though, quote unquote, we are free. And I'm going to tell you something about white privilege. It's a glorious thing. And it's a reason why they don't want to give it up. Because I, as an American, I have American privilege. When I travel overseas, they treat me like a queen. And you can get used to that. And many times when I go, I don't even want to come back. Because it's like night and day.
I'm interject on that one right there. When you go overseas, you don't get that love because you're an American. You get that love because you're a Black American. And when they look at you, they look at, and because I've had that same experience myself, and they've actually, like, some of us, they told me, like, look, they, like, when we go back again to the protest, they understand our plight very wholeheartedly. And overall, the American perception is very negative overseas and globally speaking. But Black Americans have a very high and favorable perception. So it's a weird dynamic. They hear you from America, but they see that you're Black, so they automatically are cool with you or are very pleasant with you. But I've seen white Americans interact with the same overseas individuals, and it's the response that we would get in America dealing with white people. And that's how it is overseas.
Yes. So, like, my experience, like, and Brad, he can chime in if he wants to. We both deployed, and when I interacted with Iraqi kids, it's funny. I don't know how this kid thought I looked like Michael Jackson, but he said, like, "Oh, Michael Jackson." I thought you was it. I was like, no, I'm not Michael Jackson. I would love to have his money, but no, I'm not Michael Jackson.
Look,
I
look,
mean,
he was looking at Jackson 5 Jackson. That's what he was
right?
looking at, Jackson 5
Yeah,
Mike.
I was sitting there. I was looking. I'm not Michael
He was
Jackson.
looking at pre-surgery.
Right? I said, I know, but you know, just from the Iraqi people themselves, you know, they look beyond the uniform. And I had great conversations with them and all that stuff, but they interacted with people like that. But when it came to people like myself, it was like on a much like a connective, deeper level. So I can understand where you coming from, Teach, and also Johnson. Brad, did you have that same type of interaction when you was downrange?
Yeah, I did. It shocked me actually the some of the Muslim ideology that has come about or whatnot, because my personal interaction one-on-one with a lot of them that I was talking to over there was, like I said, very pleasant. It was very pleasant. So I didn't have any issues at all. It was.
And it's funny y'all say that dealing with y'all both being military, and like I come from a military family, and I have a lot of friends that come from military families as well. It's like talking to their parents; they've had the same type of statements as well. But in respect to Germany, in respect to, like with me personally, it was Japan. When I went to Japan, I got there, they immediately was talking to me fluent in Japanese as soon as I got off the airplane, because they were so used to seeing black people there and seeing black people like me. They just assumed that I had been there and was like, you here. You look like you look like somebody I just seen 15 minutes ago around the corner. So bam. And I have no idea what they're talking about. But it was, like you said, that type of just automatic acceptance
and respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
exactly.
You was about to hit on a point of you was actually hitting on a real good point. I want you to go back to that, Teach. You said white privilege, right? Because
Right.
you was about to hit on that hard. So you can go ahead and pick up from there. So.
Well, what I was saying is that white privilege is just that. It gives you a sense of superiority. It gives you a pass to do things that the average person can't do. I've seen in the various African countries, I have seen this where they can do no wrong. With white privilege, there is no wrong. They can excuse away people like Leopold that killed 6 million Africans.
Yeah.
He was a white man. He was building up the country. He had to do what he had to do. So they excuse away the evils that they do. And they're not going to give it up because it gives them a position in their minds, in their communities, in the world. It gives them position. And I've seen African people specifically, they worship white people. They worship them. And they worship them to a fault that they can see no wrong in the white man. They actually, a lot of Nigerians right now, if you ever go to a Nigerian post, they are pro-Trump. They love Trump. They don't think Trump tells lies. They don't see through the bull crap with Trump. And they're very, they think that I'm a racist because I don't like Trump. I'm like, no, I don't like Trump because he's simply not qualified. I don't like Trump because he just simply is not a good person. And I said in the beginning, when he stole the election, that he was going to do the United States exactly the way he has done his businesses. I've always said that Trump is the richest broke white man that I know. He uses
very
other
much
people's
is.
money.
Mhm.
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
He is. I was agreeing with you. He really is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he the richest broke white man that I know. The reason why he won't turn over his taxes is because
You got no money.
he
Bro.
hasn't made any money.
No money.
Look, black folk know that move. Black folk know balling on the budget. We know how to act like we got more than what we really got. So
Exactly.
we
And
know
if you
them
look at
moves.
all his, yeah, if you know all his businesses, he gets other people to put up their money. He's bills all his businesses, file bankruptcy, which puts them out in the cold, but he gets to keep the property.
Mhm.
You know, he gets to keep the property. So he's gonna do United States just the way he done his businesses. So he can brag today, June the 3rd, 2020, that 100,000 people in the United States of America have died of the COVID-19 virus. He can brag that he has the highest death rate in the whole entire world. He can brag that he has brought back under his administration the 1967 riots, because they're rioting all over America, not just in Minnesota. Okay,
And it's
all
continue-
over America. He can do all this bragging and everything is negative. I forgot the actual name, but there was some discretionary fund that they authorized for him to take $500 million, and he does not have to keep account or record of how he spends that money. That is his golden parachute. He's going to take $500 million plus out of the United States Treasury.
That's
okay? He does not have to give any account for not one red dime. They're writing him a blank check. So he said, okay, well, to make you all bandits with me, I'm going to give everybody $1,200 if you're working. And I'll give you $600 a week if you draw unemployment. So he's making everybody have their hand in the cookie jar with him.
Not knowing that he taking the bulk of the cookies.
Yeah, well, he's taking all of the cookies.
What do you mean taking all the cookies? He got the factory. Sheesh. And I love Oreos.
He got the go back with what Teach was talking earlier about sleeping white. When I look at this video right here, I'm thinking one or two things. Either you're a troll, number one, and you're just a natural contrarian who's going to voice that opposing opinion. Like that's where your true energy falls in. You have those people, no matter what's going on, you got something or somebody that's going to propose an opposing thought to it. It could be something good that has no negative thought to it, but they're gonna bring up a negative thought to it.
Yeah,
that's what I think of him. Either that or you're living white, like she said earlier about sleeping white. You're living in a land and in an area where your personal life, everything that you've heard about or everything that you've seen in movies that were based on true stories, you yourself never personally went through, and nobody in your immediate family and surrounding ever went through. So you have no direct connection or focal point to attach yourself to. Because for all intents and purposes, you've been living white.
Right.
So the whole actual thought of people protesting, which may in turn lead into looting and rioting, is beyond your personal fathom. Like it's completely out of your whole existence of consciousness. Right. That's why he's so impassioned and has all this vigor about what he's saying, because he honestly, at the end of the day, doesn't understand it because he has no personal connection to it other than what he's read in books or seen in movies.
Well, I think he's repeating his pillow talk.
Again, I agree with you as well.
He's repeating his pillow talk, and he's making a public announcement so his pillow talk partner can see and listen that he's making a public statement.
Like that's
It's
my baby.
approval. He's seeking approval from his pillow talk partner.
Mhm.
That's my little chocolate bunny.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna get in line. Yes.
So we got 3 minutes, and we can just go let this ride on out.
Don't even act like
Lord
that.
help us.
These people are beyond animals. I know dogs that have more sense than these people.
Oh, come on now.
Don't make no sense at all. I just don't understand. And then people want to call me a coon and an Uncle Tom and say I hate black people. I'm black. I don't hate black people. But I'm not about to sit up here and race bait. I'm not about to sit up here and say all white people are racist because that's a damn lie.
But you just called all black people dogs
Just
and
because one
animals.
crop did something does not make all people racist. And I'm not about to sit up here and trash white people. I'm not about
Didn't
to
I
sit up
say
here
this was pillow
and
talk?
trash
I
one
said this
group
was
of people.
pillow talk.
Because every white person
Well, Master always
should
been
not
good
be
to
held
me.
accountable
Master
for the
always been
actions
good to
of
me.
one white person. Everybody is their own individual person, okay? So they should not
That
be
is
held
pillow
accountable.
talking.
I don't want to hear that bull crap.
Oh,
They
man.
fell out, and he said, "I'm gonna make
These
a
people need
video
to be
to get
labeled
back
as
in your good
terrorists.
graces."
These people burned down a police station. And let me tell y'all something here. A lot of people are not thinking of this, okay? These people burned down pharmacies. So now you have an elderly lady that cannot get her medicine because these ghetto fools burned down the pharmacy. Now you have a
Now
sick
you gonna go for
child.
Nana?
Now you have cancer patients who can't get their medicine on time because these dummies burned down the pharmacy. And another thing, burning down a police station, that means they burned down evidence. Evidence that could have convicted somebody that's being accused of rape. But now guess what? The rape victim won't get justice because these dummies burned up all the evidence.
Really, that's
They
what we gonna
burned
do.
up evidence that could have locked up somebody that killed somebody. But guess what? That person won't get justice now. These people are taking away justice from other people. They are ruining the lives of other people. So now more people need justice. Burning down a police station. You probably burned down evidence. They could have helped. A missing child. But you burned down the police station. And now they can't find that child. You people are stupid. Let me get off of here. Okay, because I'm getting really pissed off right now. Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great day out there. God bless.
Y'all got me talking to the TV.
Silly, simple, common Sunday Christian ass nigga.
Let me go ahead and lead in, and I'm gonna give the floor to everybody else. How can you contradict yourself so many times in your own argument? He just sit there and said that these people pretending that he's not black himself, saying how we're thugs, that we're dogs, that we're close to being animals, and then all of a sudden I didn't say anything. I didn't say, it's crazy. I'm sorry, I had a little feedback in back of my headphones. Contradict yourself, sitting there saying you never talk bad about black people, and then talking about black people like you ain't black yourself, and then at the end say that, I'm not saying anything bad about black people. But that's all of what you're saying. And then not to mention, you ain't hitting on nothing. In the words of the late, great James Brown, one of my favorite songs, talking loud and saying nothing. I give up the floor to y'all.
And I began to feel shit in my throat as he spoke. And I just want to just cut it off because it's only so much pollution that you should be able to take into your system. And I don't know how he has 6 million views, but then again, with social media, I don't know.
You know why.
I don't know. And I
People
bet
like
you those
me.
6 million views were not people of color. It was people that love to hear that message. But the thing is that what I see in him, his overall characteristic, he is a follower. He does not have any self-identification. He has no self-love, no self-determination. So therefore, everything that he said, he was programmed. Somebody on, hugged up on the pillow, yeah, baby, put all that into him. And he had to repeat it publicly to prove a point that he understood what they were saying, where they were coming from. And he was letting them know it's not me, it's them. And don't associate me with them. I'm not a part of them. So I want to write him a letter. Dear self, let me see me in 20 years. Will I have the same, one, pillow talk partner pumping that garbage into me, and two, will I have grown up? Dear self, let me see myself in 20 years, because I hate the fact that he called them thugs, ghetto, well, not just thugs, but ghetto thugs. Then he called them dogs and animals. But all white people are not bad. Well, all black people are not bad. And if you listen to the media, anything, you will see that a lot of this looting, and the one that started the fire at the police station, it was 3 white guys.
Mm-hmm. Every riot I've seen started had been by white folk.
Yeah.
Well, I agree.
I wonder, did he make a video like this when all those white folks was out there winning, or when some hockey team won, or some
the Boston
or whatever. I wonder, is he making those same videos? It's just heartbreaking to go back what T said, and I think that's the worst kind of Negro, when you have somebody that self-hates and talk down to black people. You have no loyalty to the black community. That's the worst kind of Negro, first of all.
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm just totally just disgusted at him and anyone who can talk down on black folk like we don't know any better, like we just dogs and don't know any better. It's ridiculous. I'm just appalled right now, honestly, at that whole his statement. I'm just appalled.
He just I would say he's the house Negro. He's the one that be like, master. He said y'all treat the master. Who said it best? I'm not be paraphrasing.
Sam Jackson and Django.
Like Malcolm X said, I'm paraphrasing what he said. He said you got the field Negro and you got the house Negro. When the master said the house Negro, he's like, oh, I hope master gets well, I hope he pulls through. And you got the field Negro, man.
No, we sick, master. We sick.
We sick too.
When the master is sick, the house nigga say, we sick, master.
We sick. I knew, yeah. And then the field Negro is like, nah, I hope he die. Like I said, I'm paraphrasing.
Exactly.
But
I hope it's serious.
Yeah. And
how bad is the cough?
Yeah. So just to see that we got people that look like us, they're out there. They out there getting a lot of money. Because I guarantee you, he's probably going to get a deal. He's probably going to get on freaking Fox News or going to go on the OAN.
Oh, he's going to get. I won't say he's going to go that far. He's going to get some kind of benefit.
Oh yeah.
Now, I would say for him to get that far depends on how much he's willing to continue videos of that level. How long can you consist at that level? If he's willing to keep that Uncle Ruckus, Django, Sam Jackson up that long, that high, then yeah, you'll see him on some MSNBC. Sir,
He's not
Look,
he's not articulated enough to get a platform that big like
and that's
Candace
what I'm saying.
Owens
Yeah.
and Officer Tatum. You know, even though they're ignorant as hell, you know, he'll never get a platform that big.
But
'Cause
you know
he-
who he would
But
be? You know who he would end up being,
know,
and not to
he-
disrespect this man, he would be Stephen A. Smith.
Yes.
Stephen A. Smith is the contrarian of the show. They could be talking about somebody that is good, and you have no reason. Like, for example, the Jordan. They be like hyping everybody else, hyping up Jordan. He's the only one that pop up and be like, Jordan wasn't even nice that game. Like during that season, such and such actually scored such and such points. Like, why you want to be the hater? But somebody has to be the hater.
Mhm.
Somebody has to give
guess
you a
so.
reason to love. And you, in a morbid sense, you could take it as that's what he's doing. Like he's playing the character.
Mhm.
I'm giving the boy the benefit of a doubt. He's playing the Uncle Ruckus role. He's being the Uncle Tom Sambo Coon to give you more of a reason to say Black Lives Matter. Maybe he's being paid for it. Maybe he's doing it, you know, for the cause. And you know, he's the Dark Knight that we need.
Right.
Maybe it's the liquor talking right now, and I'm just trying to give this boy praise. I don't know.
I don't know.
But the point is,
It seemed his message was a rant.
Basically.
And
exactly.
if
That's
he-
what I'm just about to say.
I don't know if he
The point is
always
pointless.
gets 6 million views. I don't know if that's normal for him or
I
this
do my
is,
research.
you know,
I do my research on him.
okay. And but what I'm looking at with the fact that he got 6 million views, that if he would have taken his time to use his brain and come up with some solid arguments with that same passion, and if instead of calling them dumb Negroes, ghetto Negroes, he can say, "Come on, brothers and sisters, let's talk about this. We're doing some things that's not really in our favor."
No, exactly.
And these are
You
the
could say,
things that
even
we're
though
doing.
I'm not the one starting it, we might not be starting it. Don't mean we have to include ourselves. Just because you see a
Yeah.
white person bust the window open and take a 50-inch,
Yes.
don't mean you have to indulge yourself. Because let's be real, as black people, that would be the moment when the camera pop up or a camera pops up and catches you coming out with the 50-inch instead of the white person coming out with the 70.
So he is actually he's a comedian.
So I agree with you.
Comedian. He has
If he ain't, he should be.
1.4. He got 1.4 million people that follows him, and he got 703,000 that likes him. I don't think he's that much of a good comedian because I never heard of him. So he do got a very right-wing conservative outlook because I'm seeing one of his videos right now. He does have on a Make America Great Again hat. And I think that's all I can say about
I'm
that.
telling you that's
So
giving
So
me more
he-
hope that this was all a joke.
well, I mean, it was a rant, it was raw emotion. But the thing that he never acknowledged is that as individuals, that kinship and that kith, we feel with George. When he cried out for his mama, I felt that. I am a mother. I was sick, almost unto death with this COVID virus. I called out for my mama. It's a place that sickness or illness or feeling like you're getting ready to die. There's a place
call
that
for
you
your
go. And
mama.
I called out for my mama. So when I saw that
I've
man
had that
call out
moment
for his
myself.
mama, I felt that. I felt
Mhm.
that. I felt that. So he doesn't even give any empathy for George himself or any of those that died at the hand of vigilantes or police brutality, unjustified deaths. He doesn't give anything to that because, like I said, his whole thing was to distance himself from other Black people. And that in itself is a problem.
Mhm.
But his message is I hate you for being black. I hate being black and associated with you because I sleep white. You're messing up my pillow talk. I have to come on this forum and really act like I'm mad to prove to my white partner that I'm not like the rest of these black people. So I am going to demean them. I'm going to dog them out. I'm going to criticize them. I'm going to call them animals. I'm going to call them dogs. And only thing that he has accomplished is calling himself those things. And that takes you into self-loathing. He loathes the fact that he has brown skin. He loathes the fact. He worships white.
No.
Now, y'all can fact check and find out, and I could be totally wrong, but my intuition tells me it's up in the mix.
Right. I got you. I'm not gonna go that deep into his page because all the stuff that I've seen up on there so far, I do not like. He does got a following, maybe a cult following for the right, but on the level of like, let's say, Bill Bellamy, no. I'm sorry, but going back to his platform. See, obviously, I never even heard of his name. Y'all never heard of him as him being a comedian.
Nah.
I know I haven't. But
Thank God he a comedian.
Right. And so
so we can take him as a joke.
Yes, basically.
Exactly. You can now go back and look at that video and laugh at yourself for feeling like this nigga was really serious.
Right.
Like this a nigga you got to kill. Like if the race war jumped off tonight and you saw that video, you looked at yourself like, well, I got to find this nigga and kill him. You know, we can't have niggas like this out here. Like, no. It's like, like that's because I'm pretty sure out of them 6 million views, a good couple of folks felt to that degree. Like you can't you say things of that nature and put yourself out there with that type of perception. You're going when you want to hit a nerve. The problem with hitting the nerve is some people's nerves are more sensitive than others. So you can hit the same nerve. Like out of all four of us, I might be the only one that responds to a higher level than everybody else because my nerves are a little bit more sensitive. And that might be because of my upbringing. So you say things of that nature and I hear you. I'm like, I might have to see you, bro, because you can't be around here when it really hit the fan and we got to link up.
Right.
We can't have people like you around here because you talking this way, that really let me know if it really became down between white versus black, you on their side.
Yeah.
And then he'll find out that they not on his side. And that's the most rude awakening
that's the
that he can get.
But that happens every day.
Exactly.
That happens every day. Like I be once again preaching on my show for the longest. See where your standing is. Say something that you disagree with. Who's that one columnist? And I keep bringing up Fox News more than anything. It's crazy. Who's that one black guy? The only one black guy. I had his name.
Don Lemon?
No, Don Lemon's on CNN, but the only black dude that's on the 5 on Fox. He's the only one. And for the first time,
I don't even watch Fox, so I assume.
Yeah, he used to be terrible. But people gotten so like more conservative than him. He's just like the token black guy, and makes him seem more liberal when he's conservative. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that this man, when he says the wrong things that I agree with, the whole table turns on him. Like it's crazy. They always like, I think it's one time when they was talking about, socialism, and he said, it may not be a bad idea. Maybe let's give it a try. And the whole table turns on him completely. if you want to know where your standing is with somebody, say something different than what they're saying. See if they agree with you, and see if they're gonna stand with you and be like, you know what? Okay, you got a good point. 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna end good for you. And then also for his platform, y'all forgot two prominent. Damn, I shouldn't even use that word. I use that term loosely. Diamond and Silk. They are very highly unintelligent, and they had a show. They had a YouTube show. They still got it. Then they got on the freaking Fox, that Fox app, and then was it 2 weeks ago they got kicked off?
Yeah.
I
didn't even know they had one until they got kicked off.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
Zirconia and polyester. That's their nicknames.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you, I can see him taking that spot, but he gonna need somebody prominent on the right that is like got a lot of pull to put him on that pedestal. But we wouldn't know from here. But I mean, if he does get that type of clout, we need to start doing more shows like this so we can have some like, hey, you may be going to the top, but I'm gonna tell you it's gonna be tough, and we're gonna check you on everything. So we came to the end of the show. So any final thoughts?
I feel like overall we need to go back to focus on the main objective being George Floyd and focus on the narrative. The narrative is police brutality, unjust death, and just government acknowledged and accepted racism. That's the narrative. That's the main points we need to stick by and focus on, and keep our minds attached to when we go out here and do and live our lives. If you're gonna protest, that's what you need to be protesting about. If your heart say you need to loot, well, that's what you need to be looting about. I don't see no purpose in it myself, but hey, to each their own.
Cheech, you got anything?
I just want to say that it is my hope that throughout the protests that the communities can come together and actually practice and imbibe diversity, and they will build a community that everybody can claim is theirs, where no one will feel like an outsider in their community. I think that our nation as a whole, I've been hearing people saying, oh, America the Great has fallen. And looks like it to me, but everything, sometimes the bottom has to fall out. Get rid of the old systems, the old way of thinking, the old way of doing things. Sometimes a great change has to come. Yeah. And this is a moment that we can take advantage to have, quote unquote, that great America, defining what we think as that great America, not what Trump is proposing, because we know what he's proposing, and that's not good for all Americans. But if we can design a new community one by one with a new mindset to include all Americans, where we're working together, where everybody is included, then I think all of this is worth it. Yeah. The looting versus protesting, I totally agree with the protesting. I do not agree with the infiltrators and the agitators creating this chaos with the looting. But it's part of all fair in war. We are at war. And with war, you have the casualties. But after the war, we have to rebuild. And that's where I think we're going to come to rebuilding the America that we want.
Gotcha. Brad, what you got?
Short and sweet as usual. We have to, keep God first, pray, and just remember that we have to have open dialogue with one another in order to hear one another. Be willing to be open to what the other side is saying. Not saying we got to listen to foolishness, but be willing to hear them out, and hopefully they can hear us out. It's not one-sided. It's a two-way street when we had these conversations. So hopefully we can all come together as one, have some real conversations in order to understand where each other are coming from. So, like I said, we are at war, and there's going to be some casualties along the way, but it'll be for the greater good. That's all I got.
Gotcha. First of all, I'd like to thank people for commenting, watching the show, and also I'd like to thank y'all for being my host and everything. So now it's on me. My final thought is this. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you lean left, lean right, you're moderate, liberal, conservative, whatever, libertarian, progressive. Don't change the narrative of this. Because if you're talking about looting, the rioting, more than the reason why it's happening, you are the problem. You cannot say that I'm, all lives matter or Black lives matter when you say things like that. The narrative of this and where it always should stay. There was a man murdered. That was basically the straw that broke the camel's back of what's been going on for decades, going on for centuries, let's be clear. Probably crimes that we don't even know that's going on right now. That we don't even know that's not at the surface, but goes deeper. So when you hear somebody, when you go to your work, when you go to your job, when you go, let's say you're talking to your white friends or your Asian friends, whoever, and this subject comes up and all they can talk about is the rioting, two things you can do. One, you can just question your friendship and walk away, or two, see if they're a good friend so they can hear you out and be like, what you're saying is wrong. Because by you worrying about rioting and looting, you're taking away my experience as a Black man or Black woman, whatever. We are friends. That's cool. But at the end of the day, when you forget my struggles and knowing that you get to live and every day I have to survive, we have nothing in common. You're not a friend at all. You're just somebody that's in a company with a Black man or Black woman. Well, I put it like this. You happen to be associated with somebody that's Black. That's what it always comes down to. And to all the people that are not Black, as you can see on the show, if you do have Black friends, which I doubt, I know y'all got Black friends or people that you associate yourselves with that are Black, have a conversation with them. Ask the questions. Even the ones that are afraid to even talk about race, make them talk about it. Tell them how they feel on a daily basis and sit back and listen to them. Be like, I'm not going to judge you. I just want to know. I just want to listen. I want to know because every day I don't deal with the same things you do. I may not believe in white privilege, but if you feel that I'm privileged, I want to know how I'm privileged. These are questions you should ask, including for interracial relationships as well as mine is. Because me and my girlfriend, we had our talks about it. She was almost in freaking tears for what was happening in the past. So y'all should be having conversations, and it's more of the Black person doing the talking, and the partner should be doing more of the listening. And that would do it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. I want to ask all three of y'all, are y'all able to do this all over again because this is going to be a series that I'm going to start because I feel like the news is not telling our side as they should. And I was wondering if y'all will come back same time on Friday.
I'm good.
Here. All right.
I'll be here.
Yeah, because we need our voices heard, and not only just us, but people that are watching the show that want to ask questions or get their inputs too. Because to let y'all know, people that hasn't been watching were many different races that was watching this show, and that's what we need. This is more than just a discussion. This is us saying what is going on. This is from our view, and you just need to sit down and listen. And then also, there's nothing wrong with you putting down your comments and saying how you feel. But this is the time where you should just sit down and just be like, hey, I'm here to learn. So, but I do appreciate all three of y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all so much. This has been the Alabonte Show Fade to Black series. Once again, thank you, Teacher Anita Joe, Beast Johnson. Thank you so much. And once again, Ellen Bragg, thank you for tuning in. But most of all, ladies and gentlemen, there's still COVID-19 out there. Please stay safe. Stay inside. Get hand sanitizer. Put your mask on. Whatever. Stay safe. There's still disease out there. Stay safe. Any other things I want to add before we head on out?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, most definitely. We will be back Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody, for having the comments and watching the show. Thank you so very much. We are outro. Catch y'all later. Catch y'all later. It's been real. Bye, y'all.
Bye.